Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's poppin', people? Today, you probably clicked this video wondering what branch you should join. First things first, let's get this out of the way. Yes, I did not shave. I have a shaving profile because I know guys are gonna be like, "Oh, aren't you supposed to shave?" I have a condition. That's why I don't have to shave, because I get bumps on my face. Google what that is, just in case you don't know. Other than that, let's dive right into it. So, this, my opinion, is kind of biased because I joined the Army first and then I switched to the Air Force, as you guys can see. But let's dive right into it. So you got the Army, you got the Air Force, you got the Navy, Marines, and the Coast Guard. Now, right off the bat, if I was to rate every single branch when it comes to living conditions, I'll put Air Force at the top. And from Air Force is a big, large drop of quality. Navy, Army, and then Marines. Just like that. And what I mean by living conditions and missions, a lot of the things that you guys get called to duty for, you're going to be in housing. In the Army, you're more than likely going to be deployed like in the desert. Marines, same thing. Navy, you're on a boat. You might get lucky and get stationed overseas depending on what branch you join. More than likely, Navy, if you're going to get stationed overseas, you'll have better living conditions. But as far as deployments, Air Force hands down has the best living conditions when it comes to living in the barracks, deployments, and then when I mean by that, to get down to the specifics, I'm talking air conditioner, single rooms just for yourself. I think it's if you're an E4 in the Air Force, you can get your own house, versus the Army, you can't move out until you're at least an E5. So if you sign a contract, you're not going to be able to get a house until 4 or 5 years in, if you get lucky and there's a slot and you pick up sergeant rank. With that being said, living conditions, gotta give it to the Air Force. The reason why I switched in the first place, and this could be an entire video within itself, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, I switched it because it's easier. You feel me? In the Army, I was attached to artillery, and then after that, I was attached to an infantry unit for support. It was mechanized infantry and light infantry. So we had a lot of missions, but there were a lot of shitty missions when we were in the desert pulling security. And it was cool, and I'm grateful for the experience, the discipline, the attitude that the Army gave me. Obviously, I took it to the Air Force, but the Air Force, it's a little like laid back. I picked the one job that is the closest to the Army, which is security forces, because it's what I know. It's my bread and butter when it comes to like land navigation, weapons qualifications, entering and clearing buildings. It's stuff that I did in the Army, so it just felt natural to go security force. So people who want to join the Marine Corps, I'm gonna be as blunt as possible. The Marine Corps, you join the Marine Corps to be a Marine. Simple as that. The lifestyle is like, the discipline is amazing, the training is good, but the missions suck, man. They really do. And you're probably living in the worst possible living conditions. You feel me? Unless you go special warfare or special forces in any branch. If you're just a regular Marine, regular soldier, regular sailor, you're probably gonna get a shitty mission. But in the Marine Corps, they take pride in their discipline, but they also take pride in like how shitty their missions are. Shitty in the sense of like, it's hard, it's physically more demanding, it's probably the worst possible living conditions. And my Marines that will click this video will agree with me, because there's when I went to Air Force training school for my job, I came across Marines and they all told me they joined this branch. Same reason why I left the Army to join the Air Force. It's because it's easier, it's more relaxed. You feel me? I will say the Navy and the Air Force, and then in the Air Force by a long shot, is probably the best branches to serve in that have a long, fruitful, lasting career. You can fuck around and start a family. I don't recommend starting a family in the military, but that's besides the point. But you can do some really cool shit. As far as going active duty, reserves, National Guard, to break it down, active duty members, they are stationed on a base, whether it's stateside or overseas, and they're performing their job duties every single day, Monday through Friday, give or take. As depending on your job and the demand of it, sometimes you're working 24/7. You feel me? Not 24/7, but you know, you got a shitty schedule. With that being said, Army Airborne, Army Ranger, Army Green Beret, all that good stuff. I will say the Army is probably the best branch when it comes to figuring out what type of job you want. The Marine Corps and the Air Force, they have open contracts, so sometimes when you sign up and you say, oh, I want to do this, you have a wish list of stuff, you don't necessarily find out until you graduate boot camp, and then you figure out, oh, okay, this is my job. So if you want to take that gamble, you can take that gamble, but it all depends on like the time of the year that you're going in. Some people had a choice. Some people didn't have a choice. I know the Army, 100 times, 10 out of 10. If you score high in the ASVAB, you get whatever job you want. You feel me? So I will give that to the Army. Marine Corps is the same thing. Usually you sign up and you don't figure out what type of job you have. It's more stricter. It's more strict in the Army. I mean, in the Marine Corps when it comes to deciding what job you want, because it's all about, hey, we need you here, you're gonna be a rifleman. Oh, we need you over there, you're gonna be this. And based on the AFVAB scores, obviously the higher score you have, the less combat shit you don't have to do unless you want to go combat. Other than that, man, a deployment in the Army and the Marine Corps, you're in a desert. A deployment for the Navy, you are on a boat unless you are a CB and you volunteer to do combat shit. You get attached to Marines and you'll do more shit in the desert. In the Air Force, you deploy. You'll end up in the desert eventually, but you're not really leaving the FOB. You're not in the field. You pretty much pulling security on the base, or you're just like, it's not as like life-threatening, I would say. Yeah, I will say, like, joining any branch, obviously you're putting your life on the line for America and all that good stuff, but that's usually people's concern, like, oh, am I going to deploy, am I going to do this, am I going to do that? When you join and you want all these benefits, I'm telling you, you're going to work for it regardless of what branch you're in. But as far as like the easiest life possible and the most like better morale, better treatment from your leadership, Air Force all the way. You feel me? You can't beat that. And I'm not saying every branch is like that. It obviously depends what unit you get to, what your job is, the people around you, your leadership. That could play a big part as to your life, or how how your life is. But it's what you make of it. You feel me? Regardless of what branch you join, just get ready to freaking embrace the suck. You're gonna hear that a lot. You're gonna pretty much learn how the military is. So what else? I think I kind of nailed every single question. Let me know, guys, if you guys have any specific questions. I will answer it to the best of my ability in the comment section below. If you also have, like, if it's a good question, I'll make an entire video about it. The transition from branch to branch. If you are an Army guy, if you're a Marine, Navy, and you think about joining the Air Force, you can holler at me. I'll give you the whole rundown and the process that I went to. I'll make an entire video about that. But yeah, guys, you join the Army, deploy in the desert. You join the Navy, you're on a boat unless you volunteer to go to the desert. Marine, you're in the desert. Air Force, you're chilling. You feel me? You big chilling. As far as picking out what type of job, I recommend picking a job that transitions into the civilian world. Obviously, if you go Army infantry, it's not really a lot of jobs that transfer into the civilian other than weapons instructor and cops. You feel me? And private security, stuff like that. But even then, like, civilians value actual military police members over infantry guys. So you really got to be smart how you make your decision. Don't be afraid to ask your recruiter questions, because at the end of the day, you are valuable to them. They need you. So drill your recruiter. Hey, I need this. I want a bonus. What jobs are offering bonuses right now? Oh, I want to get stationed over here. Like, you really got to play that part, because if you just sign up, they're going to give you whatever, is available. You feel me? But you really got to, like, when I mean by drill your recruiters, I mean, like, get the best possible job that you can now to secure the bag and to also have a long-lasting, fruitful, career. You feel me? Unless you like combat and you like the stressful jobs and you want to do that your entire contract. You feel me? And the last thing I'm going to say is that there are different amount of years that you can sign up. Hopefully this video doesn't cut off. I'm going to probably cut it out around 10. If it cuts off, I'll just make a part 2. But there are, I think it's an 8-year contract, 6-year, and 4. They probably changed it. My recommendation is you sign up for the least amount of years, just to get your toe, just to dip your foot in the water to see if you like it. They will offer you bonuses 9 times out of 10. I don't know what the bonuses is right now. I will say honorable mention the Coast Guard. Now the Coast Guard, they get stationed at really cool places, man. And they were offering $40,000 bonuses for 4 years, and I can't even make that shit up. As a cook, you feel me? They were offering that. So, and they were offering that to prior enlisted people. So, really talk to every single branch. Get the most bang for your buck, your decision, the job that you decide. And then as far as the difficulty, Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force. Physically demanding, what to expect. It's in that order of difficulty, with the Marines being the hardest. And then the Army, Army, Marines, it really all depends. It's kind of even, because if you're a regular soldier, it's not as hard as like being a Marine. But if you go airborne, air assault, ranger school, it's on a whole nother level of difficulty. So it just comes down to, when you hit 30 years old, do you want to have messed up knees or not? You feel me? How much you're willing to sacrifice to either, you know, have that lifestyle, save that money, or you just love it. Some people join it and they love it, and they do it the rest of their lives or until they retire. So make a wise decision. Take all this information with a grain of salt. Talk to multiple recruiters, talk to different branches, ask people who are serving, and they will tell you their blunt, honest opinion. You feel me? So salute. More military videos coming soon, just because y'all always freaking ask me questions, man. I'm trying to make gaming videos, but y'all got military questions, so I'm gonna do the best of my ability to answer every single one of them. Salute again. Peace.